So after a really busy cruise, we are finally making our way back to Southampton, and we've got 4 sea days coming up.
So join us in this video where we tell you exactly what is available on the ship and find out what we get up to on each of the sea days.
Hi, if you're new to our channel, we are Tom and Dom Travel, and we release a new cruise related video every single week. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to give this video a like.
Our day already started off badly because we have lost an hour. Yes, on our way back to Southampton, we will have to lose 3 hours. Over the course of 4 sea days, we'll be going back an hour each day. So we are losing quite a lot of time, which means we're probably going to be sleeping in.
So we did have a lovely little lie-in, actually a bit of a long lie-in because neither of us woke up till 11:30.
Yeah, and we had 2 really busy days in Greenland. So if you haven't watched those videos yet, check them out because we got up to some really exciting things.
First thing this morning, it was very, very rocky. We could definitely feel a lot of movement in the ship, and a fair few passengers did feel a little bit seasick.
That didn't stop us, however, and we headed straight to lunch.
We missed breakfast, so we headed straight down to the Bordeaux Restaurant on deck 5. Because it is a sea day, the main dining room, Bordeaux, is open for lunch.
For my starter today, I went for the chicken broth soup. Really tasty, but one thing we have noticed, and we've mentioned it before, some of their soups can be quite salty.
I went for one of my favourites actually, and that's the mozzarella sticks with a little tomato dip. It was absolutely delicious. However, I could have done with a couple more actually, because there were only 2 on the plate.
For the main meal, I went for lasagna, and I have to say that lasagna was really good. Probably better than the lasagna I had a few days before in Sabatini's.
And I went for the chicken club sandwich, and I gotta say it was delicious. When it arrived on the plate, it did look small, but it was very tasty, and I thoroughly enjoyed them.
It was cut into little triangles like you'd get at a children's party, so that was quite nice. And then for dessert, I went for the chocolate marquise. Once again, very chocolatey, very tasty.
Yeah, the chocolate cakes and desserts on board have been delicious. And I went for the trifle, and again, really tasty. I've got to say, the desserts on Princess have been top notch. We also had a couple of cans of Coke with our lunch, and because we've got the Princess Plus package, cans as well as fountain sodas and soft drinks are included.
As we left the Bordeaux Restaurant, we were greeted by the sounds of the lovely Princess Orchestra, who were playing in the Princess Plaza.
Lots of little activities are happening all across the ship, so we wanted to go and explore and just check these out.
As it is a sea day, all the shops are open in the Princess Plaza, so there's plenty of opportunities to buy things, and nearly all the shops have got events on. So Effie has got jewellery event, the cosmetics store is also got events on with Chanel today, so there's lots of different things going on in the Princess shops.
On board, they've also got a duty-free section, and we actually struggled to find that because it is tucked away in the gifts and souvenirs section.
Yeah, not super clear to see it unless you go into the shops themselves, so make sure you do search that out. As well as the shops being open and lots of activities happening in the plaza, there is also the casino that is open.
What's interesting about the casino is the slot machines are staying open for 24 hours every day.
You can
Incredible.
use them anytime, but the tables do close, and lots of events going on around the ship, including 2 games of bingo in the Explorers Lounge. But also happening in the Explorers Lounge was a talk about different artists from the staff in the art gallery.
So after walking through deck 7, checking out the shops and the activities taking place, we went up onto the top deck just to get a bit of fresh air and get a couple of laps in up on deck 15.
Now, as we're sailing back from Greenland, it is still pretty cold, so we did a quick few laps and found our way into the conservatory area, which is the covered pool part of the ship. And in there we found they were doing an art class.
A very popular watercolouring event, and pretty much all of the seats were taken.
Yep, and and that was hosted by Amber, one of the onboard entertainments team.
It was a bit rocky and the indoor pool was actually closed, and we did feel sorry for a couple of the pool attendants because the pool was so full and the ship was rocking so much. There was water going everywhere. Now, we've never seen anything like it before. Obviously, we've seen rocky seas and pools splashing left, right and centre. However, the sheer amount of water that was covering the indoor pool was unbelievable, and these two poor pool attendants were trying to sweep it into the drains, but it was coming out of the pool so quick they just couldn't keep up.
We found our way back inside. We walked past the Bordeaux Restaurant, which is a top tip for those of you who like a quiet space on a sea day, because it was very quiet in there. Only a few people in there reading a book or playing games. After that, we headed towards the Explorers Lounge, and once again there was another session of bingo happening with Fortuna Luck. Luck. So bingo has been very popular on this ship. The bingo style is American style bingo, not British style bingo, and it's not very fast paced.
There's a lot of theatrics involved during the calling of the numbers.
Yeah, and it's not number after number. There's a lot of interaction with the people playing bingo. They want you to dance, they want you to sing, they want you to get up. So it's not as easy as just calling numbers, marking them off.
Just outside the Explorers Lounge, along the windows, looking out onto the open ocean, they've got a number of little relaxed armchairs. So we found a couple, which we were quite fortunate to, because this spot is very, very popular on sea days. And we just sat there, ordered a lovely glass of wine, and just whiled away some of the hours looking out at those beautiful sea views.
Yeah, it's a lovely spot, and it is quite relaxing just to sit there with a glass, maybe read a book, and just watch the sea pass by. After relaxing for an hour, we once again passed through the Princess Plaza, where the Shining Strings duo were playing, and like we've said before, they play some excellent songs, really modern songs with a classic twist.
Very Bridgerton vibes. There are a couple of really talented musicians. We could stand there and listen to them for ages.
Now we headed back to our cabin, where we got ready for tonight's activities, because tonight was Italian night.
Part 2.
Two.
This is the second Italian night we had on board, and it was interesting.
So Italian night is not a theme for the whole ship, it's just in the main restaurant of an evening. And once again we had an Italian inspired menu, but different to the first Italian menu.
For starter, I went for the eggplant / aubergine parmesan, and yeah, it was quite tasty. Was it my most favourite meal? Not really. Unfortunately, the eggplant just was a little bit too mushy for me.
And I went for the lentil soup, which was pretty simple but very tasty.
As it was Italian night, we did have 4 courses this evening. So for our second course, I opted for the spaghetti and meatballs, and it was absolutely delicious. I've got to say, the meatballs on board have been spectacular. And I've said it once, I'll say it again, the pasta on board Princess is superb.
I went for one of the specials tonight, which was offered to us by our waiter, and it was the spicy pasta, and it was just about right in spiciness, so you could definitely see bits of chilli in the pasta, but it was really tasty.
Then on to the mains, and it was a little bit of a limited selection. Neither of us eat fish, and I went for the beef pot roast.
Yeah, so not very Italian.
But it was delicious. The meat just fell apart, the vegetables were lovely, there was plenty of gravy. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And I went for the chicken breast, which came wrapped in like a Parma ham. Really, really tasty, but 2 chicken breasts as well, so a really good sized meal.
Then on to dessert, and I went for the Princess Love Boat Dream, which is the first time I've had it on this cruise, and I've got to agree with Tom, not the same as it used to be.
It is a little bit disappointing.
However, I did enjoy it. I can't say I didn't. I really do enjoy the little biscuity base.
And then I went for the hazelnut semi-freddo, and it was just like having a deconstructed Ferrero Rocher. It was very, very tasty.
Yeah, it was absolutely delicious, and I did look at it and I was very, very envious. After a really good meal, we then quickly hurried to the Explorers Lounge for tonight's game show, 10 in 60. The game show was hosted by cruise director Andy, and pretty much anybody and everybody could take part. He gave you a question, you had to give 10 answers in 60 seconds. One of the questions was, list the 10 most recent Princess cruise ships ships.
Not including Sun or Star. So that was quite good. We did quite well with that, didn't we? Questions like the first 10 Disney princesses. Real mixed bag of questions, but actually really, really fun to do.
The princess game shows are absolutely fantastic. Unlike larger ships like Enchanted and Sky, you only get one game show per evening. You don't get one at 8:30 and then another at 10:30 and so forth.
There just isn't the venues on board Island Princess to be able to accommodate that, unfortunately.
What we have noticed is during popular events, whether that's Zumba, line dancing, the venues on board get so busy. And if it's a popular event, you've got to get there so early. Otherwise, you've got no chance of getting a seat. Apart from the Princess Theatre, there just isn't a single large venue that can host more passengers for these popular events, unfortunately.
Yeah. Another thing that stands out for Island Princess is they've only got one mixologist in Good Spirits, which means where we would normally have gone to Good Spirits after dinner, unfortunately he always has his break 8:30 till 9, which means that we can't go because there is no one else who can make them. And we've asked the guys in Good Spirits, even though they've all got the Good Spirits uniform on, nobody else knows how to make the drinks, or nobody's willing to try and make the drinks except the one bartender. We understand he's got to go on his break, but the fact there's only one of them, which means if you wanted to sit in Good Spirits and have a drink from Good Spirits, you can't.
And that's one of the main reasons we haven't really frequented Good Spirits on Island Princess as much as we did on, say, Enchanted and Sky.
So we then headed to the theatre for tonight's main show, which was the second show from comedian Mike Seeley. Now, we found this show to probably be more relatable than his first one, and he did get quite a few laughs from the British guests on board. Less people left the show, but I think that was mainly Americans, and it is hard for the humour to translate on some of the jokes.
Overall, it was a very, very good show, and we both thoroughly enjoyed it, as we could relate to a lot of the humour. We were also accompanied by Carol, and she laughed her head off. Silly, she said. Yeah.
Then, after the show, me, Dom and Carol all headed back to Explorers, where we enjoyed some late night disco.
When we first arrived in the Explorers, Ecstasy were playing, the party band on board. Unfortunately now, both the female singers were unwell, and therefore it was just the band playing. They did very well considering, and there were a number of people up having a little boogie and a dance.
And one of the best things about being in Explorers Bar is the staff and the bartenders behind the bar, because they absolutely make the night for us. They are so fun. They're singing, they're dancing, they are telling jokes. It is really, really great to sit and watch them and have a chat to them.
And they're so attentive. One of the great things on board, outside in the bars, we've never had to wait very long for a drink. It's been absolutely exceptional. Service, top notch.
Before we left the Explorers Bar, we did one last order and grabbed some cans for our minibar. Now, Princess now sell canned alcoholic drinks, such as a Pimm's or a Bombay Sapphire gin and tonic. So we grabbed a couple of those to pop in our minibar, and it's a top tip for you. And if you want a minibar at no extra cost and you've got some drinks left in your package, grab a few cans and pop them in your mini fridge.
We've been building up quite an extensive minibar, which is absolutely fantastic. As Tom said, Princess are now selling pre-mixed drinks in cans. They're $12 each. However, if you've got Princess Plus or Premier package, they're included.
Anyway, so that was the end of our night in Explorers Lounge. So once again, we headed back up to the cabin, where we ordered ourselves some room service once again, and it was time to call it a night.
In addition to our standard room service order, we had a burger and cheesy chips. Tom also ordered a slice of chocolate cake that you can get 24 hours a day just by using the Medallion app.
When we walked into our cabin, we did notice that we had 2 gifts left on our bed. We had received a certificate for crossing the Arctic Circle, which we are really pleased about. We now have 2 certificates each for crossing the Arctic Circle.
That was the end of our first sea day. It was very relaxing. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves on board, and we are looking forward to sea day number 2. Thanks for watching our sea day here on Island Princess. If you've got any comments or questions, just pop them in the box below and we'll get back to you.
And please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification button to never miss a video from us. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching. We've got lots more content available on our YouTube channel, so press that subscribe button. If you're interested in receiving daily updates, we're available on most social media platforms. Just search for Tom and Dom Travel.